Feel ready for conference play?
Depends on the moment,
Okay.
but yeah, we're excited for conference play. The way we finished in Hawaii would clearly give us a chance in conference games, and the variability so far with this club is the thing that I think you're referring to as the concern. It's a young group that's inexperienced, and I think with that you are going to get inconsistent play, and that's what we've seen so far.
What'd you see from Brett on Sunday to come up big after losing the first three games of the series, to come out there, be efficient through 8 innings? What'd you see in that start, and what do you think that means for him going forward?
Well, I mean, it'd be great if he threw a no-hitter every time he pitched. What I saw from the dugout was a guy that was cutting him up, and he looked really good. He's looked really good a lot. I think statistically he's got some of our best numbers on our pitching staff. I don't know, Brett's just done a nice job from the time that I saw him here in the fall. He's been one of our more reliable or most reliable pitchers, and just what he's doing is plenty good enough, and so I hope he continues it.
And then Kenyon came out for an inning on Sunday as well. Not his most efficient inning, to say the least, but do you think he's just trying to get his feet under him and get back to what he can do?
You're not going to see the 94, 96 mile an hour Kenyon Jovan yet. This is a work in progress, and so the great news is that his arm felt great afterwards and during his performance. And it's a building process for Kenyon. This is a young man that was told that he could possibly lose his arm, and that doctors said that he would never pitch again, and he's pitching again, and so he's defied odds. How good this thing gets for Kenyon will be really exciting to see. I'm just excited every time he toes the rubber right now, because they said he couldn't do it, and he's doing it. And the success isn't what he's accustomed to, and I know the work that he's going to put in is going to maximize whatever God's going to allow him to do. I'm just excited for the young man. He's passionate. He loves what he does, and even seeing him this weekend when it wasn't his best outing of his career, it's still awesome to see him on the mound, because he's doing something they said he couldn't.
What about him hitting though? I'm sure you can.
Yeah,
praises for that.
What he's doing with his hitting speaks for itself. He doesn't need me to chime in. It's pretty spectacular.
Brett Walker, any particular buttons you guys tried to push to get this out of him, to help him take a leap from last year?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Coach Angier's been working with those guys quite a bit. And I'm not exactly sure about that. I know he wants to be a starter here, and when you scale back into conference play, not only do you scale back the roster size that you travel with, but you scale back the number of starters, because instead of going from 4 games on a weekend, you go to 3. So somebody's not starting anymore. So it's usually the guy that's pitching the best, or the 3 that are pitching the best, and that's the case. And so, Brett Walker will move into the rotation for our Sunday job this weekend, and, credit to him, he deserves it.
You look at some of the pitching numbers from the past weekend. I think some of them a little bit inflated from 1 or 2 big innings per game. What can you do as a coaching staff, mentally with the team, to, I guess, prevent those big innings and keep your team in games?
Coach them better in the innings where they're not doing good, and when they are doing good, then let them continue to do what they're doing good. So yeah, we'll take the hits for the bad innings, and they can take the credit for the good innings. Hopefully we'll have a lot more times where they're taking the credit than this weekend.
How would you evaluate the non-conference play, and what improvements do you want to see in Pac-12?
Well, non-conference play, I'm not excited about the record, but I am excited about the fact that, how they've played. They've played exceptionally hard. Going into this thing, I didn't have any expectation on what the record should be when non-conference play ended. I really didn't know, this is such an inexperienced group. I wanted to see him compete. I wanted to see him improve, and we've seen that tremendously. I'd love to see a different record, but you can't control that right now. I like the attitude that they brought to the table on day 4 out in Hawaii, where that could have easily been the day where they got beat 13-2 instead of them beating somebody 13-2, because it didn't go good the first 3 days. We could easily been walking out of Hawaii 3-1, and that didn't happen either. And so for this group to be resilient and to show up on the last day of that series and put a stamp on what they can do was exciting for me to see, and it gives us optimism for hopefully seeing that again here in the short term.
Aaron Zavala had a quick start last year, and he's doing it again now. Maybe his record speaks for himself too, but what do you see him doing that it makes him so, hit so well?
Well, fundamentally he's doing some really sound things. He's just using the whole field right now with a swing. I don't think he's trying to do too much. He hit his first career home run just the other day. which was awesome, and he's done that a lot so far in our practices, but yet hadn't showed up in the ball game yet. His work ethic has been outstanding. As with most of these kids that we have, I mean, they've invested. They really want to improve and get better, and from the moment that we showed up until now, it's been night and day. And so to see these kids really grow and develop has been a lot of fun, despite the fact that I know a lot of them aren't proud of the record that they're throwing out there right now. But I can tell you this much, the work that they've put in and the results that they've earned through the work they've put in has really been a turnaround from when we first got here.
I mean, by night and day, you mean just their skills improved a lot, or what exactly?
Boy, that's a tough question to answer. We're seeing things on a more consistent basis that are positive.